Hi, Mark Anthony here with another episode of The Whole Message. And today I've got something to share with you because right here, you never know what's going to happen on this show, do you? And I have a stack of jeans that have been in my closet for 30 years. These are size 36-inch waist. They're brand new. They're all brand new jeans. They've been sitting in there for about 30 years, and I have not been able to fit into them. I actually used to have a 48-inch waist, and I'm just finally squeezing into a size 38. And I want to get down to a 36, and so I can fit in these jeans. And these actually were $7 for a pair of Levi 501s. Kind of tells you how old I am. But that's our goal, is to fit into these jeans that I've had sitting around for 30 years. But for today, we're going to go to the kitchen because we've got a lot of fun segments to share with you. And then we'll see you later on, actually in the office set. We've got an office studio set where I do my audio, radio recordings and things like that. So enjoy these segments, and we'll see you later on in the program.
Hi, Melody Prettyman here from The Whole Message with your tip of the day. Today I want to talk to you about blueberries. Blueberries are one of my favorite fruits. They're packed full of vitamins, low in calories. They even have 1 gram of protein in blueberries. Whether you pick them fresh or buy them fresh at the grocery store, or like myself, I like to pick them when they're at the peak of the season and freeze them and keep them in my freezer for any time of the year I want to use them. Or you might go to your grocery store and buy them already frozen. It doesn't matter, whichever way you want to eat your blueberries, whether they're in your favorite recipes, fresh or frozen. Remember, good health is only 1 bite away.
Hey, how we doing there? I'm just having my biggest meal for breakfast. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And I've got some oatmeal here in my ugly bowl. Yes, this is my $300 bowl that I thought was a really classy bowl. I'm going to have to give you a whole class just about the ugly plate diet. I've got an invention in my head of the ugly plate diet that I'll have to share with you sometime. But today we're talking about having your biggest meal for breakfast, and so that's what we're going to do. But let's go to our first clip, and then we'll come back and talk more about having that biggest meal for breakfast. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you the easy way to make French toast. Now the first thing I'm going to do is get my pan fired up here because we want to get that baby warmed up. And then we're going to make our batter. Now the batter is really easy because we're doing all vegan. This is an all vegan French toast. And all I've got here is some tofu. We can add a little bit of vanilla. And you can see how I'm not even measuring anything. And it's still going to come out great. Cinnamon, you can just put a little bit of cinnamon in there. This is actually pumpkin pie spice, and I just got some fresh pumpkin pie spice, so I figured I'd throw some of that in there, and that will really help the flavor. And then we just hit it with some soy milk. And just like that. Now once you've eyeballed this, we'll have to see if we need to add more milk to it, but I don't want to overdo the milk, so we'll start with this. All right. Okay, that looks like about just the right consistency that I'm looking for. And we're going to put this in I like using a square pan. Round pans are fine, but it's got to be something that is flat because you're going to want to put the bread in there. Actually, right here what I have is a loaf of sourdough bread. And we're going to cut off some slices. I like using this. A lot of restaurants use the Texas toast, and it's a little more challenging, and there's chemicals, and you never know what's going to be in that. So, and the nice part about getting bread like this is you can actually determine what the thicknesses of your slices are going to be. So that's kind of a big plus when it comes to making French toast. So we're going to take this And let's get a little oil in our pan. One of the little tricks about oil when it comes to French toast is that you're gonna use more oil for French toast than you do pancakes. Pancakes, you want a real thin coating, but for French toast, you're gonna need to add more oil. So it's just kind of the way it works, which is one of the reasons why I stay away from the French toast in the restaurants, because you don't know what they're using for oil. I'm actually just using some extra virgin olive oil right here. And you'll see how I do this. I'm just using the bread. We're just gonna give this a nice coating. And then you can actually get as much of that coating off of there as you want as well. And then we'll put it right in there like that. Get that baby fired up. And we have French toast, good to go. Yeah, sometimes in the restaurants, let me tell you, they'll actually use fryer oil as their oil for, this is used beat up fryer oil, and they will use that for their different frying concepts. Now, I never did that at my places, but I know places that do. And so this is that easy. And another thing you can always do, sometimes you'll see those little sprinkles, and you can also put specks on it like this, and it gives it a little definition with the visual appeal here. So that's always a good way to go. And just like that, we're gonna let this cook. And you can see how I kind of shuffle the pan a little bit because I need this baby cooking. And this is only gonna take a couple minutes. Once you get it cooking a little bit, we're just gonna give this baby a flip. And look at that, we've already got a gorgeous, gorgeous French toast. Sometimes you might want to give it a little drizzle around the outsides like this in order to get underneath. If it's already sucked up the other bit of oil, you'll want to do that. So just like that, I'm telling you, it is that easy to make a gourmet French toast. So your whole concepts are use your soy milk and your tofu to create your batter, add some flavor, get the flavors you want, and use a good bread that's not going to be sucking up all of the moisture and being a soggy item. You want something that's a lot more firm, and you'll get a lot better French toast. Okay, and once you have it there, we can actually put it and give it a little slice here. And make a nice presentation here by giving it a little bit of a flare. And just like that, you've got a vegan French toast. All right, what an easy way to make breakfast. That's what we're talking about today, is having your biggest meal for breakfast. And one of the things I want to explain with you right off the bat is to show how upside down this world is. Now in society, people have their smallest meal for breakfast, a bigger lunch, and even a bigger dinner. What we need to do is turn the whole system upside down, have your biggest meal for breakfast, a smaller lunch, and a smaller dinner. And when you do this, it does a couple really important things for you. The first thing it does, you're not going to be hungry all day long. When you're eating nothing for breakfast, you're actually starving yourself throughout the day. And then you have to have bigger meals and bigger meals. And you actually eat way more food that way. And here in America, we just eat way too much food. So if you have your biggest meal for breakfast and a smaller lunch and a smaller dinner, you're actually going to eat less throughout the day. Now, it's going to save you a lot of calories for one, but the other thing is it's going to save you money because you're eating less throughout the day and less food. And so it's a win-win in that situation. The other thing that really helps when you have that biggest meal for breakfast is you're going to have more energy throughout the day. I mean, I have more energy now than I did back when I was in my 20s. And I just turned 50 last year. And now, when you have more energy throughout the day, you're going to be more active. and that's what helps burn calories. So there's another weight control advantage there. And then the bigger plus to this would be that when you have more energy throughout the day, you're going to be more active. And as you get older, you're going to maintain better muscle tone, better joints, better ligaments. And so it's going to help you live a healthier, longer, more vibrant life into your older years, so you can live a lot healthier, less aches and pains, and the list goes on and on. So I'm telling you, it is a triple win-win-win in every way, shape, and form to have that biggest meal for breakfast. Now, we've got another breakfast clip we're going to show you, and then we're going to come back because I've got a whole load of information that I want to share with you when it comes to breakfast. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you a basic banana bread concept. And once you learn how to make banana breads, you'll make these all the time. They are so easy, it doesn't take a real brain surgeon to figure them out. And what I'm starting out with here though, is I've got a little bit of hot water, and I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of ground flaxseed to about a 1/2 cup of hot water. And we're just gonna give that a little stir, and then we're gonna let that rest a little bit. That is actually going to be my egg substitute. Little ground flaxseed and water is a great egg substitute, binding agent, that type of thing. The other thing we're going to work on next year is my dry ingredients, which is going to be, right here I've got 2½ cups of flour. Now, just to let you know, this is white flour, but I don't want people thinking that white flour is bad for them. This is whole wheat flour that is unbleached. That's the thing you want to look for, is unbleached flour. There's white flour, there's hard red winter wheat, there's so many different types of wheat. White wheat is white. So you want the unbleached is the big point that you're looking for when it comes to flours, unbleached. And we'll add some salt. We'll just hit it with about a teaspoon of salt and my baking powder. Now look at I'm doing 1 tablespoon. I'm just going to do a nice heaping tablespoon of baking powder. And look at this though. This is the way I buy my baking powder. Let me tell you, it doesn't cost that much. And you buy those little things in the grocery store, it'll take 10 of them to fill up this container. And so you're saving a ton of money, and this will last a year, or longer without going bad. So in fact, the expiration date is 2016 in August. So it's got a couple of years actually. And so it saves you a ton of money. And always look for the aluminum free, which is what I have here, aluminum free baking powder. So that'll work there. And we'll just give this a little spin here. You always mix your dry ingredients in one container and then do your wet ingredients in another. And that is the best way to make sure that all the powders are getting incorporated and not going to one little section of it. So there's the flour right there. We'll set that aside and we'll start working on these bananas. And you can actually blend them up like this if you want to. But this is the best thing to do with those bananas. When they get a little overripe, you make banana bread. Or you peel them, throw them in the freezer, and you make smoothies with them. So, but we're doing banana bread today. And of course, you can mash these up in a lot of different ways. And just like to give them a quick mash here before I add the other ingredients, because otherwise you're splash, 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 and you don't want to do that. So you can take any wire whip, works the best for me, and give this thing a nice little action like this. So not too bad, huh? Easy enough to do that. So now that you've got this all whipped up, and by the way, when you're whipping things, if you go around in circles, you're more just moving the food around, where if you go back and forth like this, when you go back and forth, you're actually busting it up a lot more than going in circles, because circles just moves it around the bowl. Back and forth kind of takes it from one end to the other. So another little concept that you learn right here, only at Mark Anthony's Kitchen. And I'm going to add some applesauce to this. Applesauce is my oil substitute. You can add oil. Sometimes we'll do a quart of oil or not a quart, but a quarter cup of oil. And yeah, a quart of oil might be a little too much there. So, but anyway, I'm actually using applesauce as my moisturizer there. And I'm going to use honey instead of sugar. You can use sugar, you can use brown sugar if you want, but you know, honey is my choice for this one. And I buy those in big quantities too, by the way, because it just works. It just saves you money. And anytime you can save money, and once your kitchen's organized, I mean, your cooking is so fast. You get things done so fast in the kitchen. And then I've got about 2/3 of a cup of soy milk. And that's just I actually use vanilla. Actually, today I used the vanilla almond milk, and because that's what I had. You can use anything, you really can. And so boom, we've got it just like that. Now, look at this. You can already see how this ground flaxseed and water has thickened up. And that is a thickening agent right there. That is a thickener, just like eggs, a binding agent. So we'll mix that in here real quick. So once all this is incorporated, then we can add the flour. So pretty easy. And you can come up with lots of different variations of flavors and things like that right here as well. But we're going to add the flour right here and just keep it stirring. And this is where it gets a little tricky, so you don't make a mess everywhere. And but if you do, that's fine too. It's not a big rocket science thing. When you get this all organized, it'll turn out really good for you. So I'm actually going to get that out of here right now for a second, just so I can use my rubber scraper here, because I want to be able to get those edges really good right now. Okay, just like that. Yeah, we go through a lot of bananas. We really do. In fact, during the holidays, we bake, and that's our biggest issue, is baking. And sometimes we'll have 50 or 100 bananas in the freezer, and we bake banana breads for everybody for the holidays and things like that. So I'd much rather give somebody some food for the holidays, give them something baked, something that comes from the heart instead of the, you know, discount store. And we're going to hit some pans here, and I'm just going to give them a quick little spray so that they'll pop out a little bit easier. And then we're going to fill these up, and it's only going to fill up about 3/4 full, because these are going to rise, half to 3/4 full really. And so just like that, we'll try it right there. So there's that one, and we'll see how many of these we fill up. I like doing the big one first, and then we'll see how many of these we can fill up here. And doesn't look like it's going to be a lot today. A lot of times I can just eyeball this recipe, so I know exactly what to put in there without measurements. Most of the time when you're baking is when you want to use the exact measurements, and because a lot of times it is a science when it comes to baking. But look at that, that easy. And we'll be able to put these right in the oven, and they're going to cook at 350 degrees. The little ones only take about a half hour, and the bigger one takes about an hour. And I will actually put a pan underneath. That way, if it does go over, at least it's not going to mess up your oven. It's just going to mess up the pan. So we'll get these in the oven, and we'll come back in about an hour and show you exactly what they look like. All right, we're back, and we're going to pull this one right out of the oven here, because I know it's already ready. And it's hot, but I'll show you just what it looks like here. And doesn't that look great? Took almost an hour, about 55 minutes for this one. My smaller ones did take a half hour, and you'll see how I got them wrapped. After it was out and cooled for about 20 minutes, I put a wrap on it. And what that does is it helps keep the top softer. And I'll see if I can pop one out. There we go, that easy for you. And just like that, you have a hot, woo, homemade, fresh banana bread. And I'll tell you what, you cannot find a better banana bread anywhere. And of course, you can put some nuts and things like that in it. But I'll tell you what, I'm just sharing with you the basics. And you will love this. You can throw them in the freezer, throw them in the refrigerator. Usually just setting out on the counter, they'll last for a few days as well. Of course, not around my house. You take it around my house and they'll disappear really fast. So that easy. There's your basic banana bread. And of course, we've got other recipes for more detailed, creative types of things to do. But I just wanted you to get the basics. So Mark Anthony, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen. All right, let me share this with you. 4 reasons why you should never skip breakfast. Diabetes. Skipping breakfast actually increases the rate of type 2 diabetes in people. Heart disease. Eating breakfast is associated with a lower incidence of heart disease in both men and women. So this is by journals of circulation. Found skipping breakfast associated with hypertension, insulin resistance, and even blood sugar levels. This was kind of an interesting too, which was memory. These are actually from the American Dietetic Association, just to let you know the source on this, livescience.com. 2005 review, breakfast actually helps increase memory. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then weight loss. With the weight loss thing, we've done a lot about this, but weight loss, even the people that have exact calories, the ones that have their highest calories for breakfast, rather than the ones that have their highest calories for dinner, average a 17-pound loss over 3 months, and there's a few studies about that. So diabetes, heart disease, memory, and weight loss helps you when that biggest meal for breakfast comes into play. And there's study after study to maximize weight loss. Eat early in the day, not late in the day. That's the International Journal of Obesity. We just did a class on this. This is why I've got it on paper form here. Breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. Vanderbilt University, same situation. So have your biggest meal for breakfast out there, and you're going to be a lot better off. I love this one. It was this website called Born Ignorance. Well, it was actually called something else, but I'm calling it Born Ignorance because it actually says breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. And the guy was referring to this website on fasting and really just did not get it together there. And by the way, 2 meals, here's another one. This is from the American Diabetes Association, talking about how 2 meals a day is far better than 6 small ones, because you get so many people that are on this design where they want to have these 6 small meals a day. You know what? 2 meals a day, and it is so much better for type 2 diabetes. Your blood sugar is going to get to where it needs to be. And that's the American Diabetes Association. So there's study after study after study talking about how you need to have that big breakfast, and that's what we need to do. So we're going to go to another cooking program clip, and then we'll be back. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you the simple way to make tofu eggs. And I just love doing these because they're so healthy and so good for you. And you'll notice here, yes, I am using the USDA organic. And I actually put this in here, juice and all. And that's the easy way, juice and everything. Because, you know, a lot of people, they'll drain off this water just to add more water to it. And there's a lot of nutrients in that water. So I always try to just put the whole thing in there, and just like that. Let me crank this up maybe on here. Now we're gonna chop this up, and as it continues cooking, I'm gonna chop it up even more. But let's get to the spices, because this is so simple. Once you see how many spices I put in there, you're gonna be like, I can't believe how easy it is. and it only takes 3 ingredients. McKay's chicken style seasoning. You can use any kind of seasoning you want. There's Bill's Best. There's Butler Soy Curls has a fantastic seasoning. There's the pastes. I should do a class just on those seasonings. But McKay's chicken style seasonings, some nutritional yeast flakes, and some turmeric. And that just gives it a nice color to make it look more like an egg. And it doesn't take a lot of that either. So that's it. Those 3 ingredients, and all you have to do is boil this down, and in a few minutes, you're gonna have scrambled eggs without the animal fat and cholesterol and all those other things that go along with it. So now one other little secret you can do is add just a little bit of onion powder and a little bit of garlic too. Now that's not a necessity. Those are like your secondary spices there, and that's the way it goes. So we're gonna let this just kind of cook up here, and I'll come back and give it a stir from time to time, and then we'll show you what the finished product looks like, okay? Okay, hey, we're back, and yeah, it takes about 10 or 15 minutes to do this. The closer it gets to the end, the more you want to stir it to make sure it's not going to be sticking on the bottom. It's good to have a heavy bottom pan like I do. And just like that, let me tell you, you've got tofu eggs. And it's hot, but I'm going to dry this anyway. And we're going to get this put right in here. And of course, it's going to reduce more and more as time goes on. And just like that, boom, tofu eggs. One of the things I do with this is we actually freeze them just like that. And when you freeze them, when they come out, sometimes they're going to be a little dry. Sometimes they'll have that moisture separation. And usually when you refire them up like that, it just soaks right back in. So, but it's a fast, easy way. So, you know, we'll do batches and have 6 or 8 of these in the freezer, and in the morning, just boom, and we're ready to eat. And so I use them for burritos and things like that. We'll do a segment on burritos and show you how to do those. But that's the fast, easy way to do tofu eggs. Get your healthy tofu, which is one of the healthiest foods you could ever possibly eat. And you can do some of my homework out there and see, you know, the nutritional side of tofu. And you'll see what a benefit it is. So anyway, Mark Anthony here. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you share these videos with friends, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen. Hi, Mark Anthony here. We're doing a little episode on how to do some sauteed potatoes for breakfast, or any meal of the day for that matter. And if you've watched my other cooking shows, you would have seen how I take potatoes. There's an episode called, I think it's from cooking or boiling to freezing. And what I do with the potatoes, I just freeze them up like this in packets so they're good to go. And works really good, really good. The one thing you want to do though is actually put them in a container and let them drain like this. Sometimes I'll do this in the fridge, or I'll let them thaw and then I'll squeeze the water, because look how much water and moisture you got in there. And certain recipes, you don't want all that moisture content, so you're going to use a little squeeze on that. So I'm going to give this just a little shot of oil, olive oil. Doesn't take a lot. And then we're going to add the potatoes to it. And I know, already fired up and ready to go here. All right, let me give you my secret ingredients. And it's so easy to do. You're going to use just a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic. So onion and garlic, just a sprinkle of salt like that. And you can do parsley if you want. Don't need to, but it does give it a nice little freshness to it. And then I'm going to add some peppers and onions to this one. And of course, you don't need to do that either. But just like that, let me give it one more little coating over the top where those spices are. And then I'm going to give this baby a stir. And as long as you got a nice pan, You won't need to put a lot of oil in there, and it'll really turn out great. And it's that easy, that easy. I'm gonna switch pans here with you. These are the ones I've already got going, and look at that. This is the way they're gonna turn out. Nice, get some crispiness to it, and just like that, we've got our sauteed potatoes. Now, of course, you can use these for a lot of different applications. We use them for breakfast all the time. In fact, I'll make some breakfast burritos for you so you'll know how to make those. And, but just potatoes anytime. Potatoes are one of the best foods you could ever possibly eat. And now you've got a fast, easy way to do breakfast potatoes. You didn't have to cook them because we already had them pre-cooked. You're just kind of doing a heat and serve. It will take about 5 to 10 minutes cooking, depending how hot your burner is. You can crank it up and really get them done faster. You can put it on medium and make sure you're not going to burn anything if you walk away. So, but that fast and easy, all you need is your salt, some garlic and onion, and nothing else really. And then if you want to kick it up a notch from there, that's your basics on how to do breakfast potatoes. Mark Anthony, we'll see you next time in the kitchen. Hi, Mark Anthony here, back to show you how to make those breakfast burritos. And if you just watched the last couple segments, we showed you how to make the breakfast potatoes, and then we showed you how to make tofu eggs, a very easy way to make the tofu eggs. And by the way, I'll take those tofu eggs and freeze them. I'll put them in baggies like this and freeze them. And then these are gonna stack up as well. And then when you need a quick breakfast, you can pull these out the night before, or you can pull them out that morning and nuke them a little bit if you want. But I usually just pull them out the night before, thaw them out in the fridge, and boom, you can heat and serve those. So that's a really smart way to do those. And to make a breakfast burrito, it's pretty easy. A lot of times what I like to do is just warm up the tortilla a little bit, and gives it a little more pliable type of a stretching, so it's a little easier to use. And then you can just add whatever elements you want to this breakfast burrito. And of course your potatoes and your eggs is your staple there. I've got my favorite Daiya cheese, which is literally the best cheese out there on the planet. And I don't get paid a nickel from them either. And I really should get paid from these people. But, and a little bit of salsa. So that is my perfect combination for a breakfast burrito. You can put the sides like that, kind of wrap them in. We're gonna pull this back a little bit. Then we're gonna give it one more wrap on each side. And I'm kind of squeezing the oxygen out of there right now, just kind of giving it a press without breaking it and stretching it. But just like that, you got a breakfast burrito. And I'll do another one here for you just to give you the idea. I'm real good at doing it without heating it up, so. But you can just put a little bit of potatoes in there with some peppers and onions. Your eggs, tofu eggs, all vegan of course. You know me, I'm doing all vegan. A little bit of salsa. And if you got the vegan cheese, that works too. So that's your ingredient list right there. And then you're gonna wrap the two sides like this, fold them in. This goes forward. You're gonna stretch this back, and then I always give it a little extra fold on each side. And then you can go like this, squeezing the oxygen out of there and right like that. And you'll notice, see how this is browning already? And that's what I usually do. I like to brown it all the way around. Now, when we do them commercially, we actually take these and refrigerate them. And then the next day, when we're gonna be serving them, is when we'll brown them on the stovetop and then throw them in the oven for another 20, 30 minutes so that they're heating up on the inside. So there is a way to, if you're gonna have company over, you can always do this the day before, and you would just keep circling this around and getting it nice and browned on every side. And So that's the easy way to make breakfast burritos. And let me tell you, your guests are gonna love this one. We've done this for camp meetings for hundreds of people, and it's one of the most popular things you could ever possibly make. And it's just simple, fast, easy, healthy. And usually I'm gonna give this a little angle cut, and like that. And then you can always present it with a little angle like this. But there you go, breakfast burritos, fast, easy, healthy, and when you've got everything pre-done in the freezer where you can just pull it out and heat and serve, your job is so much easier. So, Mark Anthony, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share these videos with everybody you can. Hit those like buttons. Those really help a lot. And go to my website, grab yourself a cookbook or something there, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen. So there you go. Have your biggest meal for breakfast, a smaller lunch, and a smaller dinner. It works. It really, really works. And we've got classes designed to show you how to have those biggest meal for breakfast and redesign your kitchen with oatmeal stations and things like that. But one thing I want to share with you when it comes to having that biggest meal for breakfast, think about an automobile. You know, if you're going to go on a big trip, are you going to start that trip with an empty tank of gas? Or are you going to fill up that gas tank before you leave town? Well, it's the same thing with our bodies. We want to fill up our engines with fuel before we take that long journey every day. And it is the best thing you can possibly do so you're not running out of gas, because when you run out of gas, you are going to wear down your engine. And that's the last thing we need to do, is wear down these bodies that God has given us. You know, I mean, we're here to take care of these bodies that God has given us, and the best thing you can do is get some fuel in those in the morning to help get the entire body functioning right. And so we've got another clip here, and then we're going to wrap it up. And it's such a simple no-brainer to have that biggest meal for breakfast. Study after study after study really indicates, and common sense. As long as you got the discernment, you're going to realize that, yeah, you got to have that biggest meal for breakfast. It's kind of a no-brainer. So anyway, we'll go to that clip, and then we'll take off from there. Hi, Mark Anthony here, and I'm here with Chef Abby today. She's over to spend a day of having fun in the kitchen. And how you doing? It's been a while.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, you've been busy in the kitchen doing experimenting, I hear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got some cooking to do here. We're doing a little experiment. I love experimenting in the kitchen. And something in my head said I needed to make a baked pancake. So I thought I'd make a baked blueberry pancake pie. You want to help with that?
Yeah.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll have you start blending up some blueberries. And how many blueberries do you think we need for this? Say when.
And stop.
Okay, a little more?
Yeah.
Stop?
Yeah.
A little more? Stop?
Stop.
Oh shit, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll add a little more then. Okay, is that enough?
Yeah.
That's a lot. Maybe we shouldn't have that much. You know, I should have listened to her in the first place, shouldn't I? She's been doing so good in the kitchen. How about that? Is that enough?
You mashed some of the blueberries already.
Okay, there you go. Okay, you sure that's enough? Okay. So you mash that and I'll whip this a little bit. What this is just a basic pancake batter. You can use different things. Even Bisquick makes one that's all vegan, you know, with no animal products, or you can just do your own. We've got some secret recipes if you want pancake recipes, but that's all it is.
If you tell, it wouldn't be much of a secret, would it?
Right, exactly. Well, certain people, you know, that are in our circle of friends get to have our secret recipes.
This looks really gross.
Well, yeah, when you smash them up a little bit. These are actually frozen blueberries. So what I did is, you know, when the blueberry season's here, we buy, you know, as many as we possibly can and then freeze them. So it doesn't have the breaking like a regular blueberry. When you freeze it, you're breaking that molecular structure, so it does look a little bit different. So, all right, we're going to put that right in here and just give this a stir.
Right now?
Yep, we're ready.
Oh,
Just like that.
that sound.
Okay. Woo! Hey, that did give it quite the color, didn't it?
It's turning purple.
And then what we need to do is take that pan, and I'm going to have you spray that. Now, do you know what kind of pan that is?
Salamander?
Salad Master. Pretty close. Pretty close. Salad Master. And do you know why the Salad Master pans are so good?
Because they can take off the handle.
Well, you do pick up things quick, don't you? That's right. See, these Salad Master pans, the handle can come off so the pan can go in the oven. And that's why I thought this would be such a cool idea, because I'm just going to put the pancake right in here like this.
It's a huge pancake.
Should I stop right there then?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it all then. We'll see what happens. If it gets too big, that might be a lot though, don't you think? You think that's a lot?
Yes.
I better take some out then, right?
Not
Okay,
a lot, though.
we'll do 2 of them. We'll do 2 of them. About like that?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I just got to learn how to listen to her the first time. How about that? Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to make sure it's nice and smooth on the outside there. I know.
You're getting your towel dirty.
Women are always right, aren't they? Okay, how about some blueberries in there too? We're just going to pop some whole ones like this. What do you think? A few more? And that'll,
It's like a sinkhole they're sinking.
yeah, and I think they will. I think when we bake it, they're going to do that. All right, so we're going to put this in the oven at 375 degrees for probably half hour, but we'll make sure we check on it from time to time and see how this turns out. What do you think? All right, let's put this in the oven, and then we're good to go. It's time
Woo!
to check our blueberry pancake. And okay, let me get this out of here. This actually took about 40 minutes. I had it at 30 minutes, and I took a look at it and I said, you know what, I think I need to, oh, smart. Yeah, this one's got some flex to it. And so we're gonna see what happens here. Try to get this scraped all the way around. So yeah, it was about 40 minutes in there. In fact, let me grab a knife here, and I'm gonna do some slices. And don't worry, this is one of those Salad Master pans. You are not gonna hurt it. Yeah, you would not wanna do this with a Teflon coated pan, would you? What do you think? We wanna go that size?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we just square it like this, and then do some squares like that. We'll see. Let's see how this comes out, and see if they come out okay. It might be a little challenging here. Ooh, look, they're coming right out.
Perfect.
All right. All right. Look at that.
Little slice of pie.
Oh, man. All of you Salad Master buddies out there, all my friends over there at Salad Master, you are going to get blown away by this one. I love surprising those guys. Don't work for the company, but I sure do love that company. I'm telling you, they got such a great reputation and such a great product. What do you think?
Awesome.
A little bit of syrup?
Yep.
Let's put it right up here. So you can just drizzle a little bit of syrup on it like this. And then just for looks, I'd like to play around a little bit. What do you think? Just a couple little fresh blueberries. I got some fresh ones here to plop around the sides. Like that? Oh, cool. We'll do it like that. So that easy, you have a totally awesome baked blueberry pancake pie. So there you go. Keep watching those videos. Go to chefmarkanthony.com for the specific details, and we will be back to give you some more exciting recipes. Hey, just wanted to share with you my newest cookbook. This is the kind of book that will really be a blessing to your library at home. And I took a lot of care making this cookbook. In fact, well, I do autograph them. I always try to do that. One thing I did with the quality of this book was make it a hardcover. It's over 400 pages, over 250 recipes, plus I put a stitched binding on it so it will stay open on the kitchen table. This is one thing you want to look for, is those good stitched bindings that will stay open and they're not going to mess up over time. And this book is filled with so many great recipes and concepts, because it'll actually give you the concept how to make hummus, and then here's recipe, 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 the concept how to make bruschetta, and then recipe, 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 recipe. So it's one of those things that just makes it so much easier to learn how to function in the kitchen. And that's really what I want to do, is I want to teach people the basics. I want to teach people how to do things easier in the kitchen, to make your life easier. And more importantly than that, I want to get you healthy. And in this book, there's actually some areas in the front here, let me share this with you, that have 12 different concepts on things that you need to do to get healthy. And one of them is go vegan, of course. Here's one about reducing oil and a whole bunch of information about that. And biggest meal for breakfast, I talk about that. Plenty of water, which is what I'm doing right now, trying to get plenty of water. Rest, so there's some really good concepts in the front. Plus, I also share some of my station simplicity, how to design your oatmeal station, how to design your refrigerator into a salad bar. So this is a real powerful education tool to teach you how to function in the kitchen so much better. And these run $50, and shipping's included. We're not even charging for shipping or anything. And it is such a fantastic book. It's available on my website, or you can just call the number on the screen. And we should usually ship out within a day or two. So it's just one of those books that helps support our ministry. And of course, you can always call the number on the screen, even if you just want to contribute to our ministry. Because let me tell you, this is one of those ministries, we don't have a bunch of sponsors. You're not watching 35 commercials in order to get one recipe. And we sustain ourselves basically on your contributions and a couple of the books that I have available. I have another one too here, Vegan Simplicity. We've got a part 2 to this one coming out real soon. And this one too has not as many pictures, but it's packed with recipes. This one's just packed with recipes, and that one's half the price. So just wanted to share those with you. Both fantastic books. My website, chefmarkanthony.com, or call the number on the screen, and we will get those right out to you. So enjoy the rest of the program, and we'll see you later on.
Hi, welcome to a special segment with Mark and Melody in the kitchen here at The Whole Message.
We are back again.
We are.
And, I had a really fantastic recipe, if you did not catch it, with the blueberry pancake pie. And so here's what happened. Mm-hmm. We went out, did the blueberry pancake pie, had a little event. People ate it like crazy. I mean, it was just so fantastic. And so you'll have to watch that episode. I think we're going to couple some of these together though, but look at that.
Oh my.
Look at that blueberry pancake pie. Is that gorgeous or what?
I wish I could eat it.
So, but we were thinking, hey, it needs something more. Needs something more.
Like blueberry sauce, right?
Right.
So in here, Mark, I have some blueberries that were in your freezer that were frozen, and I took a little bit of time here and just kind of thawed them down and got them working, so because of our time here on TV. Also, I want you to take a little bit of water.
Cornstarch and water.
Make a little slurry there.
Uh-huh.
What I have here is frozen 100% grape juice instead of sugar. So I'm going to add my grape juice in there, and I always squeeze just a little bit of fresh lemon just to give it a little bit of that acid, and I just think it tastes better.
I do too. Same thing.
A little bit.
It's real easy to make a blueberry sauce.
It is.
The thicker you make it, you can use it for pies and different things like that. The thinner you make it, you can do it for different sauces and crepes and all different types of things.
Over cheesecakes. I've done it over cheesecakes, my pancakes, waffles, especially what we're doing today. And Mark, there's a reasoning for go ahead and putting your cornstarch in and letting it set for just a few seconds.
Yeah, we've talked about that before where, you know, just take your cornstarch and water, let it rest, let it settle, and then give it another whip, and that'll keep your food from tasting starchy. So, and it works really good. I mean, it's not, this was actually steaming just now. I just took it out of the oven.
I know.
Now one thing we did too, if you watched the first segment about the blueberry pancake pie, we actually used Bisquick. And you can make your own pancake mixes. But this one, you see it's a little darker color. I added some cinnamon and vanilla to it.
Oh.
And just you can smell the aroma from it. It really makes a difference.
Is that for your wonderful wife?
Yeah.
She likes that, yeah.
She loves these.
Okay, and I think, do you think that's set there long enough, Mark?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and put it in now, okay.
And you're just gonna have to decide how much
Cornstarch.
thickening you want it to do.
Exactly, because it can be really thick or you just want it syrupy.
And then I'm going to share with you what we've got here. This is a So Delicious Dairy-Free Cool Whip, and this is actually a coconut with coconut whipped. And it's a really good product.
I love this stuff. Hey, I do make my own whipped topping with coconut milk at home, but when you're on the road or something quick that you need and you've got company coming over, hey, go for that.
Yeah, and I make my own whipped topping with tofu. I do.
You do silken, don't you?
I use tofu, firm tofu.
Do you really?
Firm tofu and some concentrated juice of any type, and a little bit of honey, and put it in the blender. And well, we'll do a segment on that. But take a look at this. You can see how it's kind of foamy. Now, which is okay. But what I do is just give this a whip, and you'll see how the foam starts turning into a cream. And so, yeah, you don't want to use it right out of the container because look at this. Now you're getting that velvety creamy. Otherwise, it just looks like a bunch of honeycombs on there. What a difference it makes, huh?
It does. Now this comes frozen. You buy this in the freezer portion of most of your health food stores. You can actually let that thaw some, and you can put this in a bag where like they do the piping and make it really nice on the dessert. Mark, I'm done.
Okay, let's do it.
Done here. Look at this. Look how nice and rich that is.
I'm going to use a little spoon here to drizzle.
Sure, go ahead.
Because I just want to do a little artwork here, huh?
All right.
And basically what you're going to do is just, I want this to kind of go over the sides. In fact, let me do a little by hand because I'm going to angle the plate while that way it'll just really flow down the sides and give it that appearance that you're looking for. How's that look?
Oh, wow. That is.
And let me grab a towel here real quick. I know I'm just a perfectionist because you can always just kind of go like that. Woo! Now look at it.
Oh, my. That is beautiful. We eat it with our eyes.
Now you put the little whipped cream on the top.
Now, because that's hot,
hot.
it's going to melt off. But, you know, isn't that going to be wonderful, that melted whipped cream in with that beautiful blueberry sauce and that wonderful pancake pie.
Blueberry pancake pie.
Yeah, oh, Mark, you could do this with peaches and with apples. A lot of different fruits could.
Well, that didn't quite work.
Yeah, it did. That's my bite because I can't eat the pie.
Here's how we do it. Okay, we go like this. Quick, take the beauty shot. Actually, the beauty shot that you're going to see, we put it in the freezer and froze it before we put the whipped cream on it. So that way you're looking at it like, wow. But this is actually what happens. We show you the reality of what happens in the kitchen.
Exactly.
And, you know, you'll see all these beautiful pictures and then you wonder why yours doesn't turn out the way a lot of these people's turn out. Well, this is the reason why, because it's a whole different world when you're taking beauty shots like we do a lot of. So, but isn't that fabulous?
Oh, I think it looks great. I like it melted like that.
Kids are going to love it. Everybody's going to love it.
You know, when I was in Minnesota not long ago, I did a program for them up there, and I did a blueberry crisp. And I did the So Delicious on every one of the servings that I had made for them, and it was still just a little warm, and it kind of melted in. Everybody came back and they're like, that is wonderful, but we thought it was vegan. I'm like, well, it was, it still is. Okay, you're gonna take
I've got to. I mean, this is just sitting here calling my name, saying, hey, Mark.
Eat me.
Of course, Melody here is gluten-free.
Yeah, I'd have my fork in it too. Doggone it. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make one gluten-free. That's what I'm gonna do.
You know, you could actually have this for a dessert. It
You
is
could.
that good,
Sure you could.
even though it's actually a breakfast dish.
Mark, could you make this same blueberry pie the way you've done it here, and in strawberry season, make this with your cream and strawberry instead of buying those really terrible little, what are those little round discs that you get for strawberries and cream pie? You know what I'm talking about? They're little round, you buy them in the store when the strawberries are in, and people go home and make shortcake.
Oh, yeah, little.
Yeah,
Sponge cakes,
little sponge cakes.
yeah.
Well, why can't you do this?
This would be better.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for sharing that.
That easy. We like to have fun at the Whole Message, and we like to show you new and creative ways to do things and the reality of what it's really like in the kitchen, teaching you the intelligent ways to cook healthier in the kitchen. And that's our main purpose, is to teach you how to cook healthier so you're going to live a more vibrant, more abundant life.
Amen.
Mark and Melody in the kitchen again, and we will see you next time. All right, what a great episode. I'm telling you, take these segments. The reason we do segments is because we want you to bust up these programs and be able to send out segments. We're in a society right now where people would rather watch a 5-minute segment or a 10-minute segment rather than a whole hour program. So I like to have segments because, why am I going to waste an hour of your time to show you how to make something in 5 minutes? And a lot of these cooking programs, they will stretch this out. You got to watch the beginning of the program all the way to the end to find out how to make mashed potatoes. And I would much rather just show you it in 5 minutes. And so that's kind of why we do these segments, and it makes it more fun. It makes it a real crazy program. So anyway, check out the website, chefmarkanthony.com, the YouTube channel. I get a lot of response off that YouTube channel, and which is on my website as well. And of course, we got books available and things like that. And share these with your friends. That's what it's all about. And we will see you next time in the kitchen for the Whole Message.